Support for Steppin' Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin' Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy. Hello there.
Hey, Peggy.
Ian McNulty, food writer for the Times-Picayune, New Orleans Advocate. Hello, Ian. Hey there.
Hi.
Doug McCash, who covers the arts and culture scenes, also for the Times-Picayune, New Orleans Advocate. Hello there, Mr. Doug.
How are you?
And Alan Smason of TheaterCriticism.com and the Crescent City Jewish News. Hey, Alan. Poppy, some special dinners for a very good cause.
Well, you know, Dining Out for Life, 26 years ago now, was the original Dine Out event that was invented in this region by the No AIDS Task Force at the time, which, of course, today is Crescent Care. Well, that was all based, it was their biggest fundraiser of the year, and it was all based on restaurants, giving a portion of the proceeds of one night or one day's proceeds to Crescent Care. And we can't ask restaurants for anything. As a matter of fact, this is like a whole idea that has to be rethought. Think of all the fundraisers we've gone to that depend on the generosity of restaurants. Well, this year, Crescent Care is giving back in a big way to everyone who has supported us for all of these years. 100% of the proceeds will stay with the restaurant. And the real purpose for Dine Out this year is to thank our partners and to remind everybody to dine. I love that new logo with the out crossed out, because you can dine in, you can take out, but you can win cash prizes. There's going to be cash prizes for restaurants every month, because this is going to go on for 3 months. It's going to kick off next Thursday night on the 27th, and that's going to be the first of the last Thursdays of the month. We're trying to get people to think every last Thursday of the month, it's Dine Out for a lifetime. For the life of the restaurants, dine out. So in this Instagram contest, if you go to Louisiana Eats NOLA on Instagram, you'll find the instructions. You like the instructions in that post, tag somebody you'd like to dine out with, and then there will be a random drawing for a $50 gift certificate at one of the participating restaurants. And this is going to happen August, September, and October. And the participating restaurants range wildly from Ralph's on the Park to Ron's Gumbo Shop. So the message here really is take out, dine in, just dine. And thanks to all those restaurants who have supported us for all those years.
Absolutely, Poppy, and thank you. You've been involved with it from the very beginning too. So many thanks to you.
Yeah, long time I've been the chair. Thanks, Peg.
Sure. And moving on to Ian, some restaurants have come up with a relatively new business model.
Well, it's a new business model that taps something that's long been part of the restaurant business. It's private dining. Private dining is usually the realm of rehearsal dinners, weddings, corporate events, sales functions, stuff like that, where somebody's going to come in and get a whole room, arrange a menu in advance. They might even take over the entire restaurant. Well, how is that going to work in the age of the pandemic? It turns out that by recasting that model specifically for these times, it's been a way for some restaurants to get back open. Consider this example. Zazu is a very small, intimate jewel box of a bistro in Mid-City from Chef Sue Zemanek. Well, it seemed it was going to be too small to reopen and do an appreciable business under the restrictions. But you take it a different way for private dining, and it makes sense. People have been booking the entire restaurant. She's cooking there for groups of 8 and up. And it's basically Zazu for you. You have the whole restaurant to yourself. You plan the menu out with the chef. Pretty handy way to do that. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, consider Arno's restaurant. This is one of the biggest restaurants in New Orleans. 18 different rooms. This is a huge place. For them to get open during this with all these uncertainties, it could be punishingly expensive for them. However, to reopen for private dining room by room, they again have recast it. They've been holding small events in some of their many rooms that are, within the limits of the gathering limits that the city has set. So some of those are going ahead, but also they've recast it to be as small as a private dining event for 2, like in the Bacchus room, which you just saw. So it's taking the planning and logistical approach to private dining and applying it to regular dining. So quite creative over there. With different examples around town, Gree in the Lower Garden District is doing a pure buyout. People can get together in groups, and the chef will plan out the menu with them. Peggy, this is the kind of thing that used to cost you a lot of money, which is why it was just for special events or corporate entities. But now these chefs, they want to get their restaurants open. They want to get people back to work in a capacity, so they're finding different ways to do it. One last example, a really interesting twist. Well, this one is Jewel of the South. This is a cocktail hour that they've devised there. It's ticketed. So you go in, you have cocktails, you have food. This is a restaurant. And they've put the cocktails and a little showmanship built in around that as the focus. So you don't just wander in, you book a ticket in advance as if it were a show, and you go at your assigned time and you have your particular area of the restaurant. Really interesting way to redo that. And one final example, the Chloe is a new hotel that's set to open uptown next month. This is a small 14-room hotel, but it has a very big component of restaurant, lounge, patio. Well, they're planning to open, and to get the wheels turning, they're going to take that experience to you. They're actually offering private dining in people's own homes. So you contact the restaurant, and the chef will consult with you and get everything together and bring not just the cooking, but the utensils, the flowers, even the playlists in some cases, if you want that, to set the scene. So really creative way to do that in these times.
Very much so. Thank you so much. And moving on to Doug, there is one local artist who is truly a man on a mission, right, Doug?
He is a man on a mission. This is a story of an artist taking what he does best and using it to help out during the coronavirus crisis. Everybody knows Dr. Bob Schaefer. He's a very popular self-taught artist, been around since the 1990s in New Orleans, and he's best known for his signs that say "Be nice or leave." one of the best known slogans in New Orleans. So like most other artists, the coronavirus has really hurt his business. There isn't a lot of trade in town. There's not a lot of tourists. And he's worried. He's not selling the way he ordinarily would. He's so worried. His biggest fear is that he might lose his big studio in the Bywater, his big Scarlet studio. Nonetheless, in the midst of all of this, Dr. Bob asked a printer to print up 100 plastic signs that say, "Be masked or leave," obviously right in keeping with his well-known sign. And he gave them away to businesses or individuals who wanted them, and he went around and he posted about 60 of them on telephone poles and whatnot around town. Dr. Bob confessed to me he hates wearing a mask, just like everybody else, but he does so. And his explanation was, the coronavirus is like electricity. You can't see it, but you shouldn't fool with it. And the thing that really provoked him to do this was that the places that he likes to go, the corner stores, the convenience stores, donut shops, where he likes to go, some of the customers weren't masking. And Dr. Bob would point out, the people who work there are sitting ducks. They can't get away from you, so you should mask. He said, of course, they had little signs up in the shop encouraging you to do so, but the signs didn't have much punch, and that's where he came in. and he did what he does best. He made a sign that you're not liable to ignore.
Right. Now, he is located, as you said, in the Bywater, but it's 3027 Chartis, and you really can't miss the building. It's amazing, but he's open every day. And, Doug, I like this man with his hours, 10 a.m. to 4:20. I'd love to know what goes on at 4:20.
One of us has got to ask that question for sure. Also, he's ordered a bunch of new signs that are going to say "Be nice, masked dat." I haven't seen them yet.
Like that. Okay, thank you, Doug. We'll be back to you shortly. And over to Alan with some news from the New Orleans Opera Association.
Yes, and Peggy, I'll tell you about the 420 Club after the show's over. So the New Orleans Opera Association announced that they have a brand new general director, a designated general director. When she arrives, she will be the general director. That's Claire Burovac. And she's going to be leading the next decade of the opera and, of course, taking over for Robert Lyle, who served as the maestro, the general, and the artistic director for the last 23 years. He'll be stepping down after this season. Now, again, this may actually prove to be fortuitous because Claire is actually married to a stage director, Christopher Madaliano, who actually served as the artistic director of the Portland Opera. So, in a sense, we get a 2-for-1 deal. It may prove to be really a wonderful combination of husband and wife, as she is going to be the general director, and perhaps he'll be, maybe staging some of those productions coming up in the next few years. Of course, the latest news from the Opera Association is that they have postponed the season. Let me go over that with you right now, Peggy, because they've changed the dates. The first is going to be Beethoven's only opera, Fidelio, which will be Friday, January the 15th, and, of course, Saturday, January the 16th. They normally have a day in between, but they're actually pushing them together a little bit more now. Then the Magic Flute will be seen after Mardi Gras. That'll be on March the 19th. The Zauberflöte, that'll be on Sunday and Friday. And again, I'm not quite sure. Those dates should be the 19th and the 21st. And then Gershwin's Porgy and Bess will be in April the 30th, and then May the 2nd. That will be that Sunday. And of course, they'll round up the season with Puccini's Madame Butterfly. That'll be on May the 21st, and then Sunday, May the 23rd. All productions will take place, of course, at the Mahalia Jackson Performing Arts Center. And we hope that people get a chance to go out and see some opera. It's an opportunity, and again, I hope everybody will take advantage of it. Meanwhile, for those kids who are being homeschooled and are restless, don't have anything to do, here's an opportunity. This is a project. All of this is age appropriate, so you have 3 opportunities. If the kids are 8 to 12 years or perhaps 13 to 18, they can all take place in some courses. This is all being offered by Le Petits Conservancy. So if you want to have your kids who are young involved in acting, you can get them involved. If they're a little bit older, 13 to 18, you can get them involved. And of course, if they want to be involved in design work, there's a course for that as well. Check it out. And if you register by September the 4th, you get 25% off.
Wow, very smart of Le Petit. That's great. And Poppy, back to you. Some doings at the Clarets. Something to report here?
Well, new restaurants do continue to open in this crazy time. And one of them that sort of slipped in under the wire on Friday, March 13th, before the city shut down, Ladder Hospitality, that's Mark and Candace Ladder of Tujague's fame, they opened up a new restaurant called The Bower. Well, The Bower is in the Lower Garden District on Magazine Street, and it is in the front of a building where Claret is in the back. Claret is a bar, and you can't have a bar open right now. So what they have done very cleverly is Claret is popping up inside of The Bower. And so you've got sort of a combo going on here. And they have greatly expanded their outdoor seating. It's just fabulous out there. I hear dogs, kids, everything's out there playing. And Chef Marcus Woodham is cooking at The Bower. And so you can get a lot of the Claret small plates and things like that you could have, and they're fabulous cocktails. But there's a preview, a little bit of the Bower menu, heavy on beautiful vegetables that are being grown out for them at a farm on the West Bank, lots of house-made pastas. So last month, or actually this month, they did a wine dinner that was like a blip because they posted it and it sold out instantly. So I wanted to let everybody know that on September the 23rd, they're going to do another very special wine dinner. It's 5 courses with Kay Vintners. It's only $100, and the menu's fabulous. Beef tartare, foie gras, and chestnut ravioli, a beautiful Fiji apple and fennel salad. There's a spiced lamb T-bone, and everybody's favorite choux sole with whipped mascarpone and figs. So it's just $100, but make your reservations now because I'm telling you, that last wine dinner sold out in a blip. I don't know who got to know about it. We didn't.
Okay, thank you. And news from Palm and Pine, Mr. Ian.
Well, Peggy, pop-ups have long been a part of the restaurant scene around New Orleans, a very fluid part, right? By their nature, they pop up here, they pop up there, they change. Well, the coronavirus crisis has radically recast their whole landscape. Many pop-ups were based at bars. Well, bars are closed right now. Restaurants are still open, and restaurants need help. Restaurants are often operating with skeleton crews. They're not open all the days they ordinarily would be because their crews are so short-staffed. So they have kitchens, in some cases bars, that are available for these pop-ups. And what we're seeing are pop-ups and restaurants adapting to this and working together. Palm and Pine is a prime example. Great place on Rampart Street in the French Quarter. Tuesdays is now their ongoing pop-up day. They've got one that will alternate every other Tuesday. It's called Doughtown, which is a Detroit-style pizza pop-up. It's that thick crust Detroit-style pizza. Look for others, though. They've got a Basque-style Pincho Tacos place coming along. Kin, the ramen restaurant, has been through there. Around the corner, also in the French Quarter, Menolito has been still open, serving their great drinks, serving their food, all out on the street. There's no inside seating at all, so it's all out on the street. They've been hosting pop-ups. Also on Tuesday, you'll see Tacos para la Vida, which we just saw there. And also on Mondays, look for one called Que Pasta, which had been at 12 Mile Limit before 12 Mile Limit had to close. Really interesting Latin fusion concept there with Que Pasta. And then finally, across the river in Algiers, this is a brand new restaurant we talked about before on the show, Peggy, Plume Algiers. They serve Indian cuisine, as the sign says, a little deeper dive into Indian culinary traditions. And they are just doing takeout, their takeout window, but they are also opening up their space for pop-ups on Sundays and Mondays. It'll be a rotating cast of pop-ups that come through there. What you see here are restaurants and pop-ups collaborating, working together. In many of these cases, these restaurants got their own start as pop-ups. They understand the struggle. They know what it's like, and they're extending that to others. Yeah, so it really shows you. I mean, we call them pop-ups, but there's a lot of character that endures through these things. It really shows.
Absolutely. And back over to Doug. Doug, talk about trying to make something pretty out of something very ugly.
Yes, indeed. This is a great story full of irony. Ordinarily, we think that when people appear with spray paint and spray a derelict building, they're contributing to blight. And this story is just the opposite. There is a derelict building on Music Street that some of the neighbors call they call it the ghost ship, because you can see the skeleton of the structure in the upper stories, and the tarps that protected the windows flap in the breeze like a boat. So there's a neighbor who has to look at the ghost ship every day. Her name is Antoinette Reynolds. She appealed to the city to take a look at it. She tried to get in touch with the owner, but over the years, nothing's changed. So she's tried to take care of it a little bit herself, keeping it buttoned up, as she said, so that for fear that somebody will get inside and start a fire or whatever. When COVID struck, the neighbors and she had more time on their hands. They spent part of their time cleaning the parking lot next door. And once they did that, they had the parking lot clear. They said, this could be a nice neighborhood area. Could be some place where maybe a band could play. So they got in touch with a street artist, a couple of them, to come and do a mural. And it was fabulous. They loved it. One street artist led to another street artist, led to another street artist, and by word of mouth, they ended up with a great collection of some of the city's wonderful aerosol artists. They got Sanguine Skills, Swan, Mr. Balloon Hands, Crude Things, Meek, and several others. So it's a terrific collection. So what's the irony? Well, the irony is it took a couple weeks for all these murals to appear, and almost as soon as the building was finished, somehow the beautiful collection of colorful paintings got the attention of the city, apparently, because signs appeared, postings appeared saying that the building was now scheduled for emergency demolition. And according to Reynolds, she was told it would be demolished in the next 2 weeks, which means it's only going to last for another few days. So if you're inclined to go searching for the street art on Music Street, don't wait too long.
Okay. Yeah, now it's kind of sad that it's being torn down. That's weird.
It's funny after all this time.
Yeah. That's so bizarre. And it's at the corner of, is it Urquhart? I think in New Orleans we say Urquhart. It's probably Urquhart. Okay. And Music, what do you say?
I'm definitely going to let you pronounce the U Street. I say Urquhart.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know.
Thank you, Doug. And back over to Alan, and JPAS is trying to keep busy in spite of everything else not going on.
Actually, they're trying to keep you busy because they're actually sponsoring a viral video contest. But you better hurry because it's only on until the beginning of next week. Basically, they want everybody to create a viral video that speaks to JPAS's upcoming season. And guess what? You're not doing anything else any better right now indoors, so why not make a viral video? And they have different categories, 3 ages from 12 and under, and then from 12 to 17, and then 18 and above for adults. According to the rules of the contest, it can be a submission of a musical, a monologue, a skit, perhaps a dance, anything creative, but it's got to be 2 minutes or less. So keep that in mind and get to work. Meanwhile, this past week, Peggy, we got to have a question and answer from Kerry Cahill and Mark Routhier from Debauchery, the documentary, and they informed us that post-production is going on now for that film, and it'll be released around November. So keep that in mind as well. You know, every week, Peggy, I try to let people know about some of the low-cost options that are out there or free streaming options that are out there. Well, I believe I discovered one this week that is really top-notch. And while it isn't free, it's only $12.99, and what you get for it is pretty amazing. There are 9 different episodes, something called A Killer Party. It has a great cast, including Tony Award nominees Laura Osnes and Jeremy Jordan, who starred opposite each other, of course, in Bonnie and Clyde. And here's Laura and Jared Spector. And, of course, another photo of Jeremy, who plays himself in this. Also in the mystery, murder mystery, that is, there's Alex Newell, who, of course, was nominated for her recent revival in Once on This Island. And Michael James Scott, that's the guy who plays the genie in Aladdin. He's in this as well. Another great singing role for Drew Gayling, who played, of course, the original Dr. Pomatter in Waitress. And Jessica Keenan Wynn, that may sound familiar to you, that name. She is the great-granddaughter of the perfect fool Ed Wynn and the granddaughter of Keenan Wynn, his son. Again, she plays sort of the detective in this whole thing, sort of like a Hercule Poirot, or Agatha Christie, but a little bit more fun than that. Don't forget, too, Peggy, that I have something that's free tonight after Stepping Out. Check out playbill.com. If you want to see Newsies, that's the Disney's Newsies film that was done at the Pantages Theater in Los Angeles back in 2016. It's going to be free until 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. That means you got to only get a few hours to check it out, but after Stepping Out tonight, go check that out. And of course, finally, I did want to urge everybody to go check out Rachel Bay Jones. She is a Grammy and a Tony and a Emmy Award winner. She's going to be doing a lot of things with Seth Rudetsky this week, so go check that out. She was recently, of course, in God Friended Me on CBS for the past 2 years, too.
Yes, that's Sunday nights. I have really enjoyed that concert series. What a great way to spend about an hour and a half on a Sunday night. All the top stars of Broadway. It's such a deal. Thank you, Alan. And before picks, I wanted to show you the new WYES T-shirt that's now available. It's worn by WYES's own Aislinn Hinyip. Look at that. And it talks about us being, of course, New Orleans storytellers. Go to WYES.org, clip on shop to order yours. There's also a lightweight tote bag. It's kind of a darkish like blue. It's really great for blondes, you know. So anyway, but I love my T-shirt, and it's really very nicely done. Proceeds really help the station. We appreciate that. And a movie note, AMC theaters have reopened, so that's great news all around this area. And now it's time for picks. Poppy.
Unbelievable. Mr. B's now shipped. The ultimate Mr. B dinner, that would be gumbo yaya, barbecued shrimp, pecan pie, and New Orleans French bread for $130, dinner for two plus shipping anywhere in the country. What a deal.
Really? Ian?
Well, you know, you've heard of the take a penny, leave a penny concept. Several restaurants are doing that with meals, Peggy. This is Slice Pizzeria. They've started a little program where if you go in, you buy a slice of pizza, you can buy another one for whoever else walks in and is in need. They post up these little receipts on the window. If you walk in there, you need a meal, it's on whoever just bought it for you. Oh. It's a way to really tap customer generosity for a good cause. Another example on Magazine Street, shawarma on the go. Same idea. You buy a shawarma plate here or a wrap. You buy two, next person who walks in need of a meal with their money, you've just bought them their lunch. It's a pretty great program at both places.
Wow. Doug?
Oh, the late, great Enrique Alvarez's mural, Symbols of Communication, that used to be in the lobby of the Times-Picayune building, was rescued before the building was demolished, and now it's going to be permanently installed in NOMA's auditorium, and that's great news. Probably get to see it starting in January of 2021 when the renovation of the auditorium is done.
All right, thank you. Alan?
Well, my pick is the multimedia showing of Nita and Zeta on Monday night by Lisa D'Amour and Lisa Juge, Katie Pearl, and Kathy Randalls. I'm actually having Lisa D'Amour on my show after Stepping Out tonight. It'll be archived forever. And you can see this on the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group, the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, as well as my own YouTube Music Lovers 169 channel, as well as nitaandzeta.com. You'll see that all. And again, I'll see you at the theater, Peggy.
Okay, thank you, Alan. And my picks next Friday, City Park continues with its Brews and Booze scary film series with the film A Quiet Place, all gathering near Pop Fountain. Go to NewOrleansCityPark.com, click on calendar for details. Beer and peanuts and more are included in the $35 ticket, adults only. Clarinetist Dr. Michael White will give a free Zoom talk and performance that includes trumpeter Greg Stafford and Hot 8 brass band leader Benny Pete on Sunday at 7 p.m. Dr. White will focus on the New Orleans brass band tradition. Register at healdsburgjazz.org, and of course that's in California. But they have an annual jazz festival, so they're doing this on Zoom. On Wednesday, there will be a celebration of the centennial of the Women's Suffrage Amendment, and that's starting at 5 p.m. at the Longfellow Civic Center with a meet and greet, reception, and video messages from leading female elected officials. Of course, that's in Bay St. Louis. They're processing on down to the beach, up Main Street to the Hancock County Courthouse for more, lots of talks and having fun and celebrating there too. And then finally, the authors of the new book, Secret New Orleans, a guide to the weird, wonderful, and obscure. We'll do a Zoom happy hour. That's next Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. Go to GardenDistrictBookshop.com for details. Thank you all so very much. Goodbye.
Thank you.